common question sometimes I get asked is there such thing as being too short for the Army, being too tall for the Army? And yeah, sort of. And to also be able to talk about like if you're too tall or too short for the Army also kind of weighs into the same kind of category as like your weight as well, because they measure it kind of together. They're going to measure your height and weight because there's a certain standard for how much you need to weigh in the United States Army, and that's based on your age as well as your height and also male or female. Now, to help with some of these common questions like this one, I've actually made some modifications over at my website, ChristopherChaos.com. There'll be a link down in the description box down below. But when you come over to the main area of my website, you have this top area, right? Looking for info on height and weight, military pay scale, and more. Well, you're in luck, all right? If you click on this click here button, you'll be able to access a bunch of other features, right? I've got a bunch of other kind of options inside of here for common things that people are usually looking for, right? Requirements for the Army. We've got, things about the ASVAB. And what we're going to talk about today is this Army height and weight thing. So let me kind of show you from the Christopher Chaos website what that kind of looks like. So that way you can kind of understand, are you too short? Are you too tall? Kind of a thing. Part of the main focus that I want to talk about is too tall or too short, right? So when you're looking at the chart here, you have based on men, and you also have one down below for women as well. So you'll be able to look at both charts, and you have on the left-hand side the height in inches, and you have a minimum weight and all the maximum weights and all that kind of stuff. So when you're looking at this, for example, for men, right, it shows 58 inches is the minimum the chart starts off at. But then the thing you'll notice is that it doesn't have a maximum weight for 58 inches because that's actually, I think, too short. So actually, the minimum you're looking for is 60 inches. So 60 inches is 5 foot tall. If you're less than 5 foot tall, there are ways that you could potentially join the Army. Usually they're going to, probably do some kind of process, go through a waiver process. And I've talked about waivers before, and it's hard to know if your waiver is going to be approved or denied type of thing, but you can probably put in for a waiver, right? And maybe depending on your job, maybe you're going to be a tanker. They're like, sure, you're short, cool. You'll be okay. You can fit inside of a tank, but certain other jobs, maybe they won't. It just really is going to depend on a lot of factors. So that tells you 5 foot tall, right, is what you're going to need to be. And then the max that it goes up to for men is 80 inches. So 80 inches is about 6'8" type of thing. But I have seen people taller than that in the United States Army. So it is still possible that you could be able to join the Army at taller than 6'8". Again, just going to require a waiver. Probably an M1 you're not going to be able to do is probably like a 19 kilo. If you're probably 6'8", it's going to be quite a pain in the ass for you to fit inside that tank. So utilizing this chart, you can kind of figure that out. For women, right, you can go all the way down to 58 inches. So you can be shorter. You can be under 5 foot tall, right, because it does actually have a max weight for that kind of category. And then they go all the way up to, as well, also 80 inches, which would be a really tall female, but it's possible. They're probably out there too. But you just have to keep in mind that that's kind of the minimum, right, the maximum tallness, shortness you can possibly be that also kind of goes along with a weight category. So if you're trying to figure out if you're too short, or if you're too tall, use that chart. Make sure to head on over to ChristopherChaos.com. You can also check out to make sure if you're underweight or overweight. If you're underweight, you got to put on some weight. If you're overweight, if it's because of muscle, they'll do a tape test to kind of test to see, is it this much weight because you're really muscular, and they'll figure out how much body fat percentage you have. And if you're within the range that you're looking for, then you're fine. But if they determine that based on their measurements, your body fat percentage is too high, which I actually do even mention that in this chart as well. You can even kind of see here towards the bottom here, you've got the body fat percentage that's allowable for the Army, and you can kind of figure that stuff out as well. And all this information comes from AR 600-9. So if you want to look it up yourself, you can do so. Sometimes changes happen. I'll try to my best to keep the website updated and everything, but there you go. So if you're wondering too short, too tall, hopefully that helps you kind of figure that out. But I don't want you to leave just yet. I got this video right here. You need to go check this out. Check it out. Watch this video. Check out ChristopherChaos.com. Check out all those resources. Thanks for watching. I'm Christopher Chaos. I'll see you next time. See ya.